afternoon, folks, and welcome to Reading with Kermie. Chris here, aka Kermie, and we are reading book 3 of Don't Stress the Small Stuff, It's Just Small Stuff at the Workplace. And, man, I was just thinking we're doing this Reading Kermie for a long time. This is book 3 already, and I don't do it every day, so it's spread out. So at least been doing this Reading with Kermie and Kermie karaoke for a few years now. Give us a pat on the back. This has been a good journey. I'm enjoying it, you know. It's good to get out myself for a few minutes, do these Reading with Kermies and Kermie karaoke's. And if I can enlighten one more person out there, that's freaking awesome. It helps me at the same time, so it's a win-win. Just taking a few minutes out of my day. This right now is a few minutes before I get ready for work, so let's get started with Reading with Kermie. Book 3, we're on chapter 9 of book 3, and it is titled Don't Sweat the Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy, yeah, that's the word. We'll find out. Alright, ready? I can't imagine that there are very many people who work for a living who don't have to deal with at least some form of bureaucracy. After all, there are local, state, and federal agencies, insurance companies, Social Security, Medicare, the Post Office, the Department of Motor Vehicles, City Hall, payroll procedures, business license, permits required, regularity agencies, and of course the IRS. To name just a few, most industries seem to have their own agencies to deal with. Education, medical, pharmaceutical, food and beverage, the airlines, and other forms of transportation, the building industry, the environment, and all the rest. You can, of course, spend your entire lifetime complaining about bureaucracy, wishing it would disappear, and fighting every step of the way. You can struggle, engage in negative dialogue, play out wars in your head, and drive yourself crazy. In the end, however, you're still going to have to deal with bureaucracy. My suggestion is to stop sweating it and in fact, strive to make peace with bureaucracy. This is something that can be done. Joe has a small business with 6 employees. He received a notice from his state tax agency verifying the closing of his business. The problem was it wasn't closed. When he would call or write to clear the matter up, he was told again and again that he must be mistaken. The business was officially closed. It took 6 months, but the problem was eventually resolved. The key to the resolution of this issue was Joe's lack of panic. He told me statistically sooner or later something like this was bound to happen. Rather than panic or go crazy, he kept his cool and maintained his perspective. Let me make myself perfectly clear, and I'm not suggesting that you roll over and become a victim of bureaucracy, or that you think of being caught in ridiculous sporadic loops as acceptance, nor am I suggesting that you smile when confronted with one of those from a different planet. Conclusions that some bureaucrats seem to come up with. What I am suggesting is that you find a way to maximize your efficiency when you must deal with bureaucracy. The very best that you can with it. Make suggestions on ways to improve the system and to detach yourself from the craziness. When dealing with bureaucracy, it's important to take this attitude. I know there's a solution here, and I know this will be resolved. There are certainly indescribable exceptions where there is such a mess that there doesn't seem to be a way out, but luckily in a vast majority of the cases, a resolution is eventually achieved, and if you are patient, persistent, and don't worry about it, develop a sense of humor, and, if possible, see if you can accept the fact that rules and regulations do not have a place in our society. We have just allowed it to become a little out of control. So simmer down. This past year, I've been trapped in two unbelievable bureaucratic webs, one with the Department of Motor Vehicles and one with a city agency dealing with a home-related project. In both scenarios, for a brief period of time, logic and common sense were removed from the picture. I found myself wondering, what planet was I on? Yet, to the best of my knowledge, both situations has resolved themselves. There is a bright spot. There are people within the bureaucracy that don't fit the mold. People who are flexible and who are trying to be of service. When you must deal with bureaucracy, try to find these people. They are out there. In both of my recent adventures, I was helped by wonderful, caring people who stepped out of the mess long enough to help me. And you know what else? Most people who work for a bureaucracy are just as frustrated as you and I. For the most part, they are really nice people who are some degree trapped in a role. So keep in mind that people who work for the IRS have to pay taxes. Most people who work for the Department of Motor Vehicles probably drive a car. They are just like the rest of us. None are exempt from dealing with bureaucracy. So the lesson is this: the more you're able to keep your bearings and composure and have some perspective, the more likely it is that you will find one of these nice people to help you. Getting frustrated only makes matters worse. It brings out the worst in bureaucrats, and encourages them to turn to the rule book rather than find a real solution. I know this is a tough issue. It is for me too. Yet our options aren't good. I've thought about the issue a great deal and have come to the conclusion that not worth it to become frustrated. Far better to stop sweating the bureaucracy. Well, that was a good chapter, and I had to look in the dictionary for what bureaucracy meant to remind myself what it was, and yeah, it can turn into everyday frustration for any of us. I'm reminded of, when I was reading that chapter, I'm reminded of waiting on the phone on hold. It would be IRS or dealing with food stamps, whatever the case may be. Automated services, so frustrating. Simple things like that can really get you in, So that book was a great reminder. It's here, it's part of life. We have to just deal with what we have in front of us the best we can. Sure, there's frustration comes, but you know what? Cool thing is, we also got that power to breathe, to take a step back, and try not to react to the best of our ability when those circumstances hit. At work, politics, same. It can turn into a mess, but we don't have to let it. We can just take a breath, say, hey, this is what it is. There's a solution for this, and that's the best I got. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really don't have a lot to share on that, except for give yourself some breathing space to do those things in life. Those hard frustrations and complications of bureaucracy. It is part of life, yeah. Things be different, but they aren't. So we deal with what's right in front of us to the best of our ability, and just go forth the best we can. I hope you guys got something out of that reading. Yeah, anyway, I gotta get ready for work here pretty soon. I'm kind of blah so far today, kind of just moping around. Man, I don't know what's going on. I woke up with a shift of energy change. Like, I don't know. But sometimes I like that. I'm just gonna go with it. Get ready for work and continue my day. So on that note, I hope you guys continue your day blissfully, the best of your ability. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.